Following the success of my Milsim Privilege video and the overwhelming amount of awareness that it raised in my local community, I've decided to tackle yet another deep-seated and divisive issue in the airsoft community: Milsplaining. Milsplaining is the explanation of something by a Milsimer, typically to a Speedsofter, in a manner regarded as condescending or patronizing. This is done by Milsimers due to an inherent feeling of superiority over Speedsofters and their playstyle. This topic relates heavily to Milsim Privilege that I've discussed in a previous video. Milsplaining exists in all levels of the airsoft community. I've personally seen it at the highest echelons of airsoft society, perpetuated by members of the Milsim elite, on the ground at fields and online. As I will show in this next video, Milsplaining exists even at the highest levels of the airsoft hierarchy, in this case the miltriarchy. While at the GI Tactical store in Central Virginia, I mentioned that I preferred one-point slings, or no slings at all, while playing airsoft. I was rudely milsplained to by TK, the manager of the store, that my setup was quote-unquote stupid, and he continued to milsplain to me about two-point slings. Fearing my dye lens's safety, I started recording.
Alright, so here we have your traditional two-point sling setup. Now, a lot of people like the one-point sling setup where the sling itself attaches to the gun at one point. Usually that point would be back here, right behind the pistol grip. Reasons why that's dumb, and if you ever do that, you're a dirty speedsofter. In airsoft, you have only one point of contact. Sure, you may be able to be more maneuverable when switching sides, but what happens when you need to switch to your sidearm? That's not here. Oh no, your gun would have fell. It would have fallen all over the place, and you see how my body stays, the gun stays really close to me, close to my body. I have still full control of the gun. And then, even so, I have my gun, let's see, my pocket holster here. Right, see, all right, perfectly secure. Now, if I need to switch from my primary to my secondary, I can easily move the gun out of the way. It's not bothering me at all. And then I can put it right back in its little pocket hole. Quick and easy.
TK's language offends me and is unsuitable for the high stature of Airsoft GI's East Coast manager. Therefore, I immediately call for a boycott of TK's Med Bill donation charity, effective immediately. TK's explanation of two-point slings is unnecessary and entirely patronizing. Not only does he assume that I know nothing of the advantages of a two-point sling, but he calls Speedsofters quote-unquote dirty, something that is majorly offensive to me and the Speedsoft community. Furthermore, this sense of superiority has trickled down to the local fields. In the following clips, I am milsplained to by an opposing player who tells me to quote-unquote be more aggressive. He assumes that because I'm not dressed in Milsim attire, that I am less effective and therefore not as good as he is. He is milsplaining the situation regardless of my more complete understanding of the situation.
Hey, stop play.
Yeah?
No, I need him. Thank you.
What you need me for?
Oh, let me balance.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
it was like, oh, let's just run with what they picked, and then it's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, let me balance this out, see what we can do. Hey, where are my aggressive boys? Give me some hands for some aggressive.
That sounds real weird, man.
Oh no, I know what he's doing.
Where am I aggressive?
I'll go over there. I gotta look for my.
And like, we can give them players too, it's just we needed aggressive people.
I'm giving them, I know, I'm just giving
Be aggressive!
Just giving them the two aggressive.
What do you think I was doing? I was aggressive. I was at the midpoint before I got killed, and then I was spawn camped or spawn trapped, which I mean it's totally legal, but like we needed other people to be pushing up with me. That clip clearly demonstrates the milsplaining at work, as this Milsimer is obviously milsplaining in his explanation of my team's situation, despite the fact that I have a far more complete understanding of my team's dilemma. The next clip is from Battlehack Airsoft. Battlehack Airsoft is a field frequented by Milsim Supremacists and many of their followers. The next clip is of Nash, a referee at Battlehack, milsplaining to me the reason I did something, in this case, assassinate the Swamp Sniper.
I can do it right now if you would like.
Death to the Swamp Sniper!
Wow, a guy wearing a dye mask.
Nash assumes that because of my dye mask and because of my clothing, that I killed the swamp sniper because I was a speedsofter. It couldn't have been the fact that this event allowed you to kill anyone for any reason. This putting of words into my mouth is extremely typical of Milsplainers. These Milsplainers in particular treat speedsofters as second-class airsofters, and therefore do not afford them the same respect as other airsofters. This is especially demeaning in 2019's airsoft world because we can no longer assume playstyles. But the problem goes beyond Milsplaining and into outright Milsim Supremacy. These alt-right members of the airsoft community seek the extermination of speedsofters from existence, especially on the East Coast. Anonymously, I received a text conversation from a known Milsim supremacist in a local field group message. This Milsim supremacist had stalked my Instagram page and was using hate speech to talk about me. I'll read you the hateful words that he used to describe me and my photos, so you can truly understand the hurtfulness of his words. This guy says that taking pictures like this are Milsim Privilege. What? Taking a picture of me standing with a rifle isn't Milsim Privilege. I don't recall saying that in my video. Just another Milsim Privilege elitist complaining about the truth.
Not Milsim enough for you, let me give you one more.
Oh, I see what he's doing here. He's referencing a 1.5 year old photo to make an assertion about me in the present. Top-notch evidence here, guys. I think he's exposed me.
Holy we have reached the pinnacle of Milsim Privilege right here, boys.
Again, 1.5 year old photo, but not gonna lie, that smoke was pretty cool.
The guy who is the owner of this Instagram page plays at Exxon all the time and made a video on YouTube called Milsim Privilege. You should go look it up. It's hilarious.
Excuse me? Milsim Privilege is a real problem in the airsoft community and not something to be joked about.
And he gives everybody else an effing...
Hold up. Okay. I just love the fact that this guy went from straight dropping the F-bomb in his text to asterisking them out.
And he gives everybody else an effing hard time for taking pictures, and yet he takes pictures like this, and nobody's calling his ass out.
So the incident in question was about 4 months ago, when after the game he wanted somebody to take a couple of pictures. I don't have the pictures because I'm not an Instagram stalker who delves through the archives of other people's Instagrams. Anyway, I made a backhand comment like, way to flex your Milsim Privilege. But clearly, this 20-something-year-old doesn't understand that facts don't care about your feelings, and the fact that he can't recognize his own privilege.
But yeah, I know this guy plays at Exxon all the time and calls people out on wearing certain gear, or any gear at all.
Calls out is a pretty strong statement here. Besides, some light banter about somebody wearing 15 extra pounds of gear that they don't need isn't exactly malicious.
And says they are Milsim privileged, yet he wears a multicam plate carrier and jeans.
I mean, yeah. It's not like they sell plate carriers in highlighter colors. Although, I'm not exactly sure I'd get one even if they did.
The only thing Speedsoft about him is his dye mask, but I'll let him run his mouth. It doesn't affect me. I just thought this was funny to do.
Well, clearly it affects you quite a bit. Otherwise, you wouldn't be complaining about this and flexing your Milsim privilege on those that clearly don't have it. And as of the charge that there's nothing Speedsoft about me, I just refer you to the whole catalog of videos on my channel. I feel a bit bad for Milsim supremacists like these, and how vulnerable they must feel to lash out at speedsofters like this. However, it doesn't take away from the key issue of this text rant. It is a rant that explains my actions and why I did those things by a Milsimer, someone who is entirely unqualified to judge my actions and preach to others about them. It is about how stupid this speedsofter is, when in reality, he can't understand the struggles of speedsofters. This oversimplification of our playstyle and forced narrative of mag dumping and arrogant teenagers is another example of how the Milsim elitists and supremacists are sowing hatred among the airsoft community. In conclusion, as I have clearly and decisively shown, Milsplaining exists in the airsoft community, and it needs to be eradicated. By getting rid of Milsplaining at the highest levels of airsoft society, we will begin a trickle-down effect that will hopefully spread to the common airsoft field. Once we begin getting rid of Milsplaining on the airsoft field, an example of which being establishing hate speech-free safe areas, we can start making airsoft a much less divided community. By simply raising awareness for the problems such as Milsim privilege and Milsplaining, we can make the airsoft community a much more tolerable and less divided community. If you would like to help raise awareness for these crucial issues, please consider posting links to this video on social media. Special thanks to my friends at Outtakes Tactical in Richmond for helping me get such great clips.
Back here, right behind the pistol grip.
Can you say that that's dumb and stupid and nobody should ever do that? And if you do that, you're a dirty speedsofter.
Reasons why that's dumb, and if you ever do that, you're a dirty speedsofter. My gun. Let's see, my pocket holster here. Right? See? All right, perfectly secure. Now, if I need to switch from my primary to my secondary, I can easily move the gun out of the way. It's not bothering me at all, and then I can put it right back in its little pocket hole. Quick and easy. I love it.
I love that. That's great.
That was so bad.
That was